Joining me now is South Dakota Republican Congressman Dusty Johnson. He's the chair of the Republican Main Street Partnership and has been in the Speaker's office a lot today, is my understanding. So, Congressman, let's just start there. What's in this deal?
I think this deal has really come together. I think it's good things. It is a clean CR. The other CR was so big, is making a lot of members uncomfortable. So we've slimmed that down. It does have disaster funding, so we can take care of Helene and Milton. It does have some economic assistance for our farmers who are hurting. It is a one-year extension of the Farm Bill, and then it makes sure that the debt ceiling is not a point of leverage that can be used by Democrats against Donald Trump. I think we're going to be able to pass that here, hopefully in the next few hours.
So my understanding is that you guys are trying to do this vote at 6. Do you think that you have members of your party who typically don't vote for continuing resolutions anyway, but were key agitators to sort of get you to this point in the first place?
Well, there are a lot of agitators in Washington, D.C., and on both sides of the aisle. Listen, this deal isn't perfect, but I think Republicans understand the value of clearing the decks and preparing this town for the Donald Trump presidency. The CR is just a short-term 3-month CR. It makes sure that we fund government until March so that Donald Trump can come in, and with a unified Republican control, we can make some of these really important spending cuts that we're going to need to get done. And by the way, listen, Democrats, I know people don't know for sure whether or not they're on this yet, but I think Democrats are going to want to take care of the disaster response. They're going to want to help the farmers. Hopefully they don't want to shut government down. And remember, we shut government down tomorrow at midnight if we don't stick the landing on this thing.
Oh, yes. I think many of us are very aware of the short timeline that you have here. But my understanding is also that Democrats weren't consulted on this. So is that right? Do I have that correct? And also, why would they jump to vote for this if Republicans are really the ones that blew this up in the first place? I mean, I was there in the halls. It was the president-elect and Elon Musk basically saying, no, we hate this deal that Speaker Johnson has brokered.
Well, I don't know. I guess I would hope Democrats would vote for it because they don't want to hurt America. The reality is a shutdown would not be good for this country. A default on our debts would not be good on this country. Leaving the disaster victims hanging would not be good for this country. And leaving American agricultural producers hanging would not be good for this country. This is not a Republican win or a Democrat win. This is an American win. And if the Democrats want to walk because Donald Trump had a role in pulling this really important package together, I guess that's on them. But my hope and my expectation is that cooler heads will prevail. Much of this is what the Democrats were involved in negotiating over the weekend.
Do you think, and I think a lot of people are going to look at the way that this broke down and how it came together as instructive for how the next few years on the Hill might go, but do you think that this moment of a deal came at the expense of any power that Johnson had over the conference? Is he hobbled now going into the speaker vote on January 3rd?
I know in this town everybody wants to act like every flare-up is somehow has massive multi-month or multi-year impacts.
We've seen this before.
If this deal passes tonight, if we take care of all of these critically important American priorities, Speaker Johnson will be in a better position today than he was a week or a month ago. Nothing breeds success like success.
I wonder, for Democrats looking at this, why would they work with Republicans in the future when it feels like there's now a trust deficit, or at least a belief that when Speaker Johnson comes to the table with a deal, President Trump might come in and say, actually, no, that's not the deal at all?
Well, let's remember, Democrats worked with Republicans to negotiate the contours of the disaster relief, that's in this bill, to negotiate the contours of the agricultural assistance package, that's in this deal, to negotiate a one-year Farm Bill extension, that's in this deal, to negotiate health care extenders, that's in this deal. And so I get it. Not everybody in this town gets to have 100% control over every provision. So if the Democrats want to overtip the table and shut the government down, that's their choice. But I know there are plenty of responsible folks who do want to make sure we deliver these wins.
You went to this first meeting of the so-called Doge caucus this week, and of course, Elon Musk has been a central figure here in blowing up this initial deal that the speaker had. Did this come up at all? Was there conversation about the debt ceiling? That kind of seemed to come out of nowhere.
Well, President Trump feels strongly that he wants to make sure that he doesn't give Chuck Schumer any unnecessary leverage over him, particularly in the early going, where there are so many exciting things we can get done. And the Doge caucus is going to be a part of that. I have been a part of a group of members that met with Elon, met with Vivek. I tell you what, these guys are ready to get to work. They're excited. They're not dictatorial or tyrannical. They're not telling us how it's going to be. They're filled with enthusiasm of what we're going to be able to do together. And yes, that is absolutely going to be a key hallmark of the first 6 months of this administration.
Congressman Johnson, thank you for joining us. I feel like they're going to need you on the floor, so be on time whenever they do that vote. And thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.